In terms of Merkel's comments, of course, that was in response to a question about a proposal that was floated during the contract negotiations between Labour and Five Star about asking for 250 billion euros worth of debt relief. That was dropped from the final contract that those two parties signed. Clearly, though, it's left a few people with some unanswered questions. Frau Merkel trying to answer some of those questions in response to a question from a German newspaper. In terms of the spending plans, though, we've seen some very different priorities there. You were talking about Matteo Salvini talking about migrants, looking to deport 500,000 of them. Part of that is obviously his campaign rhetoric. Part of that is the insecurity that a lot of Italians feel about the numbers of people arriving here. Remember, 700,000 over the last 4 years or so have arrived, more than 13,000 so far this year. But in terms of the spending on that really obviously costs a significant amount of money, more than 4 billion euros a year. He's hoping to change some of that spending, maybe spend more on the deportation centres rather than on sustaining the migrants while they wait here for their asylum process to play through. In terms of Di Maio, of course, he's obviously got his own spending priorities. Those include the universal basic income, 780 euros a month for those seeking jobs. I think there's a new sort of rule that the Five Star put forward about 3 strikes and you're out. If you reject 3 job offers, then you'll be kicked off the allowance, which seems a little harsher than we initially understood with the idea of universal basic income. But how these two parties grapple with these spending priorities, whether we see Five Star maintain its hold on power based on its poll numbers, little uncertain. We've seen Lega over the course of this weekend, according to a new Corriere della Sera poll, do very, very well. They're now catching up on Five Star very significantly. Does that mean that Mr. Salvini will be the man who has access to the funds that he needs ahead of those that Mr. Di Maio perhaps wants in terms of priorities? And what does that mean for Italian borrowing? Again, we've seen these projections, more than 100 billion euros in fresh spending as per these new priorities. How will they find that money? They're already struggling with their debt load at the moment. As we heard those questions to Frau Merkel, will this get more expensive as well in terms of bond yields? A lot of unanswered questions when it comes to how these two parties are going to work together.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.